Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber Internet, streaming TV, home security and automation in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Maller Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. lawmg.com. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. The deadline to remonstrate against Bloomington's annexation plan is nearing, but some residents say they already have the signatures to stop annexation in some areas.
We've done our homework. We were careful about the signatures we collected. We calculated valid remonstration waivers, and we are pretty confident.
But a question about waivers means the annexation process could be decided by the courts. One local business loaded up on inventory early in the pandemic to get ahead of the supply issues facing many businesses now.
And we have to carry that because consumers right now do not want to purchase anything unless it's in stock.
Ahead, how businesses are finding creative ways to combat supply woes. And we talked to the dean of IU's Hamilton Lugar School about the university's role in aiding refugees at Camp Atterbury. Those stories, plus the latest news headlines, right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Ahead of the holiday season, Indiana's Department of Health is allowing overwhelmed hospitals to request additional support from the National Guard. Reporter Brock Turner reports teams are currently stationed at more than 20 hospitals, and in some cases, units could be there into the new year.
Hospitals can now request up to 4 weeks of backing, double what was allowed under the previous framework, from National Guard teams that include both clinical and general support. The deployment is made possible through an emergency order from Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb that has been extended nearly 24 times since the pandemic began. However, today's situation is more acute. Hospitalizations surpassed 3,000 this week for the first time in over a year. And the state's ICU bed capacity dipped below 20%, a threshold in the past that has triggered the cancellation of elective procedures. A recent analysis from the Kaiser Family Foundation found only 15% of COVID hospitalizations occurred among those fully vaccinated, with age playing a significant role. Hospitals say workers are overwhelmed after serving on the front lines for nearly 2 years. Those challenges are exacerbated by the labor market for medical professionals, which is increasingly competitive. Since September, the Guard's 6-person teams have visited nearly 36 facilities. Indiana has one of the lowest vaccination rates in the country. Just 54% of eligible Hoosiers are vaccinated. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Brock Turner.
As cases surge in the state, dozens of Hoosiers testified against a bill Thursday at the State House that would weaken employer vaccination requirements. House Bill 1001 would allow employers to require vaccinations but force them to make exceptions for people who recovered from COVID-19 in the last 6 months. It also allows employees to opt out for religious reasons with no further inquiry. Many citizens who testified said if it doesn't ban vaccine requirements, they don't want it. Others said the bill prevents businesses from protecting their workers.
Employers should be able to establish what their working conditions are and their work rules, including vaccination mandates.
Lawmakers don't plan to vote on the legislation now, but have promised to revise and advance it in January. The 4-month remonstration window to petition against Bloomington's annexation ordinances ends January 6th. But some residents say they already have the signatures needed to void annexation. As the deadline looms, some are questioning whether remonstration will hold up if the city ends up challenging recent waiver legislation in court. Residents fighting annexation in Area 2 formally submitted petitions at the Monroe County Courthouse this week.
So those aren't confirmed yet, but last I saw was nearly 2,000 signatures overall.
Organizers in areas 1C, 3, 4, and 5 say they've submitted enough petitions to block annexation. They're close to getting enough petitions in Area 1A, 2, and are doubling down on Area 1B.
We've done our homework. We were careful about the signatures we collected. We calculated valid remonstration waivers, and we are pretty confident.
Clements has been working with several volunteers since City Council passed annexation ordinances for 7 areas in September. Indiana law states if 65% of the landowners remonstrate, then the annexation is invalidated for that one area. Petitions can only be issued by the county auditor. But first, the auditor's office has 5 days to certify the signatures before sending them to the city. The city then has 15 days to check if there's a waiver against remonstrance filed on those properties. This is where it gets tricky. Certain properties have annexation remonstrance waivers associated with them. These are essentially agreements property owners sign that prohibit them from challenging annexation in exchange for city services, such as water and sewer. But in 2019, the Indiana legislature put a 15-year cap on those waivers. That means any waiver prior to 2006 is invalid, according to state law. Ellis says most signatures fall within that 2019 law, voiding the waivers and putting the city's annexation ordinances at risk. But County Auditor Catherine Smith says the city is sending all waivers filed on properties petitioned, regardless of age.
We'll look at those waivers. We'll see, does it pass the litmus test for what the legislature says is our state law? I don't want anybody to be mad and want to tar and feather me. I have to go by what the law is.
Bloomington Mayor John Hamilton says the 2019 law is unconstitutional because it seeks to retroactively void a legal contract.
All of those waivers were done, and the city provided our half of that deal with the sewers. And now the legislature has attempted to say that deal is no longer valid.
Hamilton says if enough voided waivers stop the approved annexation, the city could take Governor Eric Holcomb and the Indiana legislature to court.
This is just another example of here's a local government that's trying to plan, trying to respond. The city council was elected, the ordinance is passed at the local government level, and then the state swoops in and then just handcuffs them again a little bit.
She says the city might have a good case using the state constitution law on legal contracts.
Our legislature can be arbitrary and capricious, but they can't. I'm not sure they can reach back in time like that and undo a private contract.
Hamilton says annexation will help keep a thriving city in this region.
We will advocate for the city's position in any legal proceeding to make sure that the city taxpayers who've been paying for all this and the utility city residents who paid for all the extensions, that they're treated fairly too.
Official remonstration results could come mid-February. Petition volunteer Susan Brackney says she can't worry about what happens next.
For me, it's just been about talking to my neighbors one-on-one and giving them the opportunity to feel heard for a change.
Now, if annexation succeeds, more than 8,300 acres and 14,000 people would be annexed into city limits in January of 2024. Well, roughly 2,500 Afghan evacuees remain at Camp Atterbury near Edinburgh. That's less than half the total number of refugees who arrived at the camp after Afghanistan fell to the Taliban in August. Officials have been resettling around 400 refugees a week, and they hope to have the remaining people resettled by early January. Fewer than 150 people from Camp Atterbury have resettled here in Indiana. We're joined now on set by Lee Feinstein, the founding dean of IU's Hamilton Lugar School and a professor of international studies. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Now, you were there. Can you give us a little bit of insight about what that was like and what you did?
Oh, sure. Well, we did a couple of things. We were there initially in October. IU teaches 80 languages, and people say, why do you teach all of those languages? And why does the federal government give you all the money to do that? And Camp Atterbury gave us a really good answer, because you never know when those capacities are going to be needed, and you can't do it at the last minute. You got to build it up. So when this all started, we heard that there was a need for Dari and Pashto speakers, because there's a lot of processing that needs to happen. You have to ask people health questions. You have to get them, into the system. And so over the weekend, we were able to, because we had the capacity on campus, to assemble speakers of Dari and Pashto who we could make available to the Defense Department and others. There was a special need for women translators as well for cultural reasons, and we did this over a weekend, and we were just so proud to be able to help. And then we came back in October, and we brought 1,000 Dari phrase books. And these were not for the evacuees, but these were from the young soldiers who had been dispatched from Fort Hood on very short notice. These are generally, if I can say it, young men, kids, 18 to 25. Some of them never been outside of their state. I can say safely, probably none of them had previously met someone from Afghanistan. So this was an opportunity to give them some introduction to the culture and some language capacity to talk to them as well.
So about half of the refugees have transitioned off the base. For those that are remaining, what are some of the challenges?
Oh, you know, the challenges are huge. You know, I use history and its greatness in some ways is built on refugees dating back to Herman Wells. And a lot of our faculty members are refugees. They are proud to be here, just like the Afghan evacuees are very proud and grateful. But of course, they're worried about who they left behind. And of course, the abysmal human rights record of the Taliban gives them a great concern.
Just about 30 seconds left. What about any possibility of these refugees returning back to Afghanistan?
Yeah, I think that's a tough one. I think it's highly unlikely that they will be able to return. If there's any hope, and I traveled to Afghanistan in 2011, it's in the great rise in literacy rates. Since 2001, the greater educational opportunities for women especially. So civil society gives some hope, but it's really going to require a long time and a concerted international effort.
Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
It's been a long time coming, but Bloomington now has public restroom facilities downtown that are open 24/7. Pat Bean has this report.
To Reverend Forrest Gilmore, having public restrooms open all night downtown is all about dignity. Gilmore is the executive director of Beacon Incorporated, a nonprofit organization combating poverty and homelessness in the city.
It really provides an acknowledgement of a basic human need that all of us have. Every single one of us needs to use the restroom, needs to go to the bathroom, and so it shouldn't be just a privilege of those who have a home.
The two public restrooms in the 4th Street garage have been open for use since the garage opened in August, but not overnight. That changed last week.
Everything's working and we're now fully operational.
Public restrooms were among the recommendations by the Downtown Outreach Commission back in 2017. That year, a rash of overdoses and other issues led to the city clearing People's Park of those experiencing homelessness. Also, overnight shelters transitioned from area churches to the Wheeler Mission that year.
As we were under design consideration for these garages, it was clear from a lot of residents, constituents, and the city council and others that, hey, if we're going to build these structures as public amenities, let's put some public amenities in there, including the bathrooms.
Connie Pepler is the deacon of Trinity Episcopal Church on Grant Street, about 4 blocks from the 4th Street garage.
Well, I've wondered about it more than once, especially during the holidays on Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving when the library's closed. Shalom and those places, they are open some of the day, but not the whole day. So what are people supposed to do?
She says her church leaves outside doors unlocked to allow access to 2 bathrooms on its ground floor, but having a 24/7 public restroom downtown is a necessity.
We've been looking for public restrooms for a long time, so this is a huge advance, and so my hope is they're successful.
But Gilmore acknowledges the hazards of having an accessible, secluded space like a restroom open overnight.
One of the challenges, I think, with the design is that that could potentially be a problem where they're not able to have a sense of who's in there and how long they've been in there, and if there's any safe conditions related to that or unsafe conditions related to that. And so yeah, that's a worry.
Wason says the city monitors the garages throughout the day and will continue that overnight now that the restrooms are open 24/7. He said staff will have the ability to access the restrooms if they're locked.
The concerns are what you'd think they'd be. We actually went for more industrial type fixtures and things like that. So it's not going to be your nice porcelain toilet.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Pat Bean.
There are also 2 public restrooms open 24/7 at the Trades District Garage at 11th and Morton Streets. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. A company contracted by the city of Bloomington to test for lead in the area affected by a controlled burn has given the city the all clear. And local businesses are coming up with creative ways to combat supply chain issues that have plagued so many. Those stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
Wake up.
Wake up to the world.
To the marvels. The mayhem.
The music.
Wake up to the wows. The woes.
The wonder.
Wake up to the commotion. To the beauty.
To the humanity.
To the hope. Wake up every morning. Fully awake.
NPR Morning Edition.
Tune in to your local station or download the NPR app.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. We're joined now by my colleague Holden Absher for the latest headlines. Hello.
Thanks, Joe. State officials announced this week that all 17 regions that applied for a READY grant to help fund community projects and programs will receive funding. The program, ran by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, offered a combined total of $500 million for the use around the state. 5 of the regions received $50 million, the maximum available to any region.
It enabled our state to not just think regionally, more importantly, it enabled us to act regionally.
The Indiana Uplands region, which includes Monroe, Brown, Greene, Owen, and surrounding counties to the south, received $30 million from the program. A third-party company hired by the city of Bloomington to test for lead in the aftermath of a controlled burn on South High Street has given the all clear. Pat Bean has the report.
It's been a little more than a month since a controlled burn on the city's east side by the Bloomington Fire Department rained lead-contaminated paint chips on an adjacent neighborhood. But after weeks of remediation cleanup and sample testing by companies contracted by the city, a report by one says there is no evidence of lead contamination higher than the federal standards in the soil and air in the affected area.
So from our perspective, all the testing that has now been done, and we don't plan anymore, and the third-party company said you don't need to do anymore. This is complete and done. That this chapter is over.
The report by Vet Environmental Engineering said 13 air samples taken during and after the cleanup showed no detectable levels of lead, and none of the 56 soil samples exceeded 200 parts per million of lead, which is less than half the state's maximum allowable amount. The report said blood samples from firefighters who worked the burn and area residents who requested to be tested afterward showed no elevated levels of lead. The city received approval for the November 5th practice burn from the Indiana Department of Environmental Management and removed a number of toxic items from the 2-story house built in the 1950s. However, lead paint was not on IDEM's list of hazardous materials. Many have called for it to be added to the list.
Actually, now Chief Moore's getting asked to go up and talk to the state and maybe even nationally about what we learned and helping to show people the right way to do it and the wrong way to do it. So I hope some good can come out of it.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Pat Bean.
In all, 111 homes in the area were remediated. The 2 companies contracted for remediation, VET and Environmental Assurance Company, were paid a total of a little more than $118,000. Bloomington police are investigating at least 5 reports of swastikas found in the last 3 weeks, with the most recent on a building on South Walnut. Other reports are from East 1st Street, North College Avenue, East 6th Street, and 10th Street. Rabbi Sue Silberberg, the executive director of the Hillel Center, says while IU has historically been a welcoming community, acts of anti-Semitism have been on the rise.
For most Jews, when they see a swastika, it makes us feel unsafe. It reminds us of the Holocaust.
BPD is asking for anyone with surveillance footage or other information to contact them. A man who pleaded guilty to attacking a 13-year-old girl who was attending an Indiana University violin camp has now been charged with conspiracy to commit murder. According to court documents, Dong-Wook Ko allegedly tried to hire his cellmate at the Clay County Detention Center to torture and kill the victim's parents and a dozen other people connected with his 2019 conviction. Ko, now 19, allegedly offered to pay the man $20,000 and arrange for his bail. About 4.3 million Hoosier taxpayers will each get $125 next year because of Indiana's automatic taxpayer refund. Indiana's automatic taxpayer refund is triggered when the state ends the fiscal year with significantly large budget reserves like it did this summer. The last and only time it was triggered, in 2012, people got the money as a credit when they filed their taxes. But this time, the refund will go out as checks in the mail or via direct deposit in bank accounts. That's the headlines, Joe. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Holden. Well, supply chain issues are affecting industries ranging from tech, auto, and retail to food. Large retailers have come up with solutions, but as Benta Boutier reports, small Bloomington businesses have had to be more creative to make do.
At Long's Landing Furniture on State Road 46, co-owner Brad Ragsdale says his staff started to notice supply chain shortages last year.
A lot of it started because a lot of manufacturing was shut down because of the occurrences of COVID cases within factories.
That, paired with increased demand while people were updating their home offices, put his business in a tight spot as manufacturers struggled to fill orders, sometimes taking 3 to 4 months.
So really last July was the biggest part of when we really started noticing that things were way behind schedule.
It was around that time that his business came up with the strategy to order furniture in stages.
By ordering in stages, we had stuff coming in every 3 to 4 weeks of certain items.
He says his store is keeping double its normal inventory right now, with shipping containers full of extra furniture.
And we have to carry that because consumers right now do not want to purchase anything unless it's in stock.
And across town at Cardinal Spirits Distillery, co-founder Jeff Wuslich says they've been experiencing a different set of issues, particularly with the glass bottles they put their spirits in, which come from China.
Some real trouble at getting glass from overseas. So there's not a lot of U.S. glass manufacturers left. And those that do make glass in the United States are really backed up.
Wuslich says they've been waiting for months on a shipping container of Cardinal's signature glass bottles to arrive.
And it was delayed and delayed and delayed, and then eventually made its way through the ports. And then eventually, in a transfer from a train to a truck, the shipping container was dropped. And so we lost all those glass bottles.
That's forced Cardinal Spirits to find other bottles.
We have found a U.S. manufacturer that is going to work on a bottle for us, but it's not going to be, we can't get on their schedule until late 2022.
He says while the business is making do, there's not a lot of room for error right now, and they don't have the same buying power that larger distilleries do.
There's just a lot of chaos in the marketplace and in the supply chain right now. And so we're focusing very carefully on our internal operations and making sure that we're trying to be as perfect as possible.
Cardinal Spirits has seen an increased demand during the pandemic, which Wuslich says he hopes will continue with the uncertainties of inflation at their door.
The price in raw materials, labor, various things going up, which while we've been able to absorb most of those costs, I think costs will be going up. And then I wonder, will people be spending less?
Ananth Iyer is an expert on supply chain and operations management at Purdue University. He says both Long's Landing and Cardinal Spirits solutions make sense.
If you are operating on much smaller margins, think 10 to 20%, there isn't much room. And the transportation cost. So usually the way to deal with this is either order in advance, and your example with the furniture is an example. The second is change the mode of transportation, that is shipped by air instead of shipped by sea. So that's the second. The third is find a domestic source.
He says the issue with making some of these adaptations is added cost. Iyer says once the initial blockages are freed up, the issues businesses are facing should become more manageable. Iyer adds that long-term, he hopes these issues encourage retailers to start looking at sourcing from local and domestic manufacturers, which creates jobs and economic growth. Both Wuslich and Ragsdale say long-term, operating under current circumstances isn't sustainable, but for now they're making do. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Benta Boutier.
The Salvation Army helps families with children every year during the holidays, filling bags with toys and clothes. Nicole Kimbo has this report.
The Angel Tree program allows the community to adopt and donate items off a child or family's Christmas wish list. Major Cindy Hogue from its Bloomington location says Christmas trees were put around town and tagged with names of families in need.
If someone isn't
adopted, we try to fill that in. We try very hard to make sure they have at least 2 outfits and they have like maybe 6 or 7 toys, and finding what they like when they're very specific is not always easy, but we do our best.
Items such as books, bedding, clothes, and the newest toy out there are what families are putting on their lists. But Hogue says the most needed donation is money.
Christmas is interesting because I call it the gift that keeps giving, because the money that we raise at Christmas supports our work throughout the year.
Families qualify for the program based on income and need.
Most of them that come in do need it, and we are so grateful to be able to help them, and they come in with beautiful smiles and cheerful hearts, and that's wonderful.
Hogue says the holidays allow her to relax and focus on giving back to her community. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Nicole Kimbo.
That's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. There won't be an Indiana News Desk next week. We'll be back on December 31st. Have a great weekend.
Indiana News Desk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber Internet, streaming TV, home security and automation in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Mallard Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. lawmg.com. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.